Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Serein. Thank you so much for stopping by. And today is Makeup Bag Monday, week number 55. Every week I rotate my makeup collection to test out products for an entire week, and I check back every week with my full in-depth reviews, swatches, and demos of how the products performed. It's one of my most popular series here, and I just recently brought it back. So if you missed any of the previous Makeup Bag Mondays, there is a playlist that you can easily catch up on. Every week is numbered from 1 through 55 now, and I did take a little break in between and did a top 10 or top 5 of Makeup Bag Mondays after an entire year of Makeup Bag Mondays. So you can kind of see the journey of things I've been loving and things I started to not like so much on my skin. If you want to see how everything turned out from last week's Makeup Bag Monday, then just keep on watching. I recently announced in my videos that I'm going to be doing shout outs in my videos. If you want a chance to be shout out in one of my videos, make sure you check out that description box. So today's viewer shout out, subscriber shout out is Erin Beauty. Thank you so much for entering for a shout out. I totally recognize your photo and your name. You've been a longtime viewer and subscriber of my channel for years. So thank you so much for the continued support. The first product I tested out for the week is from It Cosmetics. This is their new Bye Bye Foundation. The first product I was testing out is from It Cosmetics. This is their new Bye Bye Foundation, and they're marketing it as a first full coverage moisturizer. To be completely honest, I don't see a huge difference by the new Bye Bye Foundation versus the original Your Skin But Better CC Plus cream. They both have SPF 50+. They're both the same type of SPF, which is titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. They are both ultra hydrating and very full coverage and a natural finish. This one is marketed as a full coverage moisturizer, and this is your CC Plus, I guess. Both the packaging is also very, very similar. It comes in a pump, which I do appreciate and really enjoy. The color range for the Bye Bye Foundation is great. They incorporated a lot more range in terms of shades, in terms of light, as well as deeper skin tones and neutral skin tones, which is very important for someone like me. Even though I err on more of the olive undertones, I do need something that's more neutral, because if I go too olive, I can become orangey. And the sun is shining, so sorry for the light changes. Overall, I really enjoy this product. I found it to be super hydrating, but not greasy or oily. It was very beneficial for me personally because I've had some dryness around here more so than normal. So this was very nice on the skin, especially in my dry patches. It didn't accentuate my dryness, it didn't make the dryness flake, and it didn't have any textural issues with my own personal textured skin currently. I like the coverage. I personally like to sheer it out with a damp beauty blender, but you can definitely build up the coverage by using a brush, a buffing brush, and then patting in with a damp sponge to kind of smooth everything out. I would say more on the medium to full coverage, sheerable and buildable, very versatile. Probably not something that if you're super, super oily that you're gonna want to get, because of the fact that it is more of a hydrating product. I don't know how that's gonna react if you're super oily, but as always, you can always typically make things work for your skin type by prepping your skin with skincare and primers. If you wanna pick this up, I don't have anything bad to say about it. If you already own the Your Skin But Better CC Plus, I don't know that you necessarily have to run out and get the new Bye Bye Foundation. The one thing I did notice is the fragrance. This one, the original CC Plus, does have a little bit of a citrus scent to it. The Bye Bye Foundation does not have any fragrance that I can kind of recall. Yeah, there's really no fragrance to this, whereas the CC Plus has a very distinct fragrance. And it's not that it's overly fragrant, the CC Plus, it just has that light lemony scent. I personally right now am light, but I also did try out neutral medium, and I think neutral medium will be the perfect kind of summer shade for me because I do get a little bit dark. I love, love, love that this has a high SPF with no flashback, and it doesn't make me look chalky or ghost-like or anything like that under lights. So it's one of those great products that you can kind of bring with you on vacation. It'll give you a little bit more protection. I still recommend you put on an SPF underneath every single day. It should just be part of your skincare habit. And then when you put this on over it, you're getting a little bit more protection. I talked to my dermatologist about it, and she talks about it on my podcast. You can find that episode from last season, season 2 with Dr. Chi. And she does explain that we do not wear enough SPF. So wear the highest possible that your skin can tolerate and definitely layer your SPFs. But layering your SPFs does not mean that if you layer a 30 plus a 50, you're suddenly getting protection of 80. That's not what she means. What she means is when you're wearing an SPF 30 in your skincare, you're typically maybe getting SPF 15 because that's how much you're actually applying on your skin with your skincare. And then when you get your SPF 50 in your foundation, again, you're probably not wearing enough to get the full 50, but you might be getting maybe an SPF 30, SPF 20, and this way with the different layers you're adding the protection in terms of layering, not in terms of how long you can be in the sun or anything like that. And definitely do reapply your sunblock every hour to 2 hours if you're in direct sunlight. Your SPF will break down. I will do an updated SPF video if you guys want it. I do have some older ones explaining chemical and physical, but of course every year I learn more. I talk to different dermatologists as well as skincare specialists, and I do learn more, and I am happy to do a new one for spring if you guys would like to learn more. If you already have the CC+, don't worry, use up your CC+. You can definitely try this out later. If you don't already own CC+, and you have drier skin, I think you'll like the Bye Bye foundation a little bit more. But to be completely honest, not a huge difference between all of these. I'm sure the ingredients are probably slightly different. I have to go look at it and do a little more research. But overall, they're great products. Don't see a huge difference between them. Next products are from Becca Cosmetics, and this is their new anti-fatigue under eye primer, and it's this really pretty blue crystal case with a blue product, and when you swatch it, it has a little bit of a tinted blue, so it does help brighten up your under eyes, and then when you apply it under your eyes, it almost creates this like silicone smoothing effect. So I don't think everybody needs this product. I think if you're a little bit on the drier side and you tend to have a lot of textural issues under your eyes, this might be something to consider because it does smooth out and fill in that little under eye area so that it lets the brightener and the correctors and the concealers apply a little bit smoother and prevents that creasing that can happen with your under eye products. If you feel like this is something that you might need because you find a lot of creasing, then it might be something you want to test out. I didn't find that I noticed a huge difference for me because I typically don't like having too many layers of products. So what I did was I used just a tiny little bit under my eyes and pat it down. It did feel like it brightened up my under eyes, and it did kind of feel a little bit cooling, but not too much. Mostly, I felt like this was more of a primer to fill in those fine lines. Now, after using the anti-fatigue primer, I went in with the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in light to medium. They also have a medium to dark. This is a very emollient peachy corrector to help with any discoloration, specifically darkness. This will brighten up your under eyes if you have a lot of dark circles and darkness under the eyes. Like I get veiny under the eyes, and that's just genetic and diet. I like using just a tiny little bit of this to brighten up my under eyes. I don't like to go crazy with brighteners because I find that you can almost look a little crazy when this area is like really smooth and bright. It almost looks like a bad Facetune job on Instagram. Specifically focus on this bend right here. You can see this is where the darkness typically is on me. You don't want to get too much in there where my eyeball kind of sticks out and then you create that line, because that's where you're going to start getting more creasing. You want to be careful with how much product you put under your eyes, especially if you're worried about creasing. A little bit goes a long way with this product. I do like it. I don't find that I would reach for it every single day if I wasn't doing Makeup Back Monday, because again, I don't like having to layer products for every day. I just don't think it's practical. If your under eye darkness is really bad, let's say you had a rough night or you're trying to look your best, definitely recommend a corrector. But for every single day, I just don't think it's practical for my life, because I don't mind if you see a little bit of darkness under my eyes. I prefer it that way because I feel like it looks more real. I did use the corrector, and then I would go in with a little bit of concealer because I found that this corrector would look a little crazy if I didn't put a concealer on. Now, if you're super fair, I think this would be all you needed. Not a bad product, just not practical for my everyday life, but I definitely would use this if I'm going out, if I have a photo shoot, if I'm going to be on camera a lot. I do have a couple friends who all they wear is corrector and concealer under their eyes, and they're okay with not wearing anything else because that's what matters to them. And if you're someone like that, then definitely check out the corrector. I then have the under eye brightening setting powder, which I quite enjoyed. It's very finely milled, it's very, very silky, and it creates a really beautiful finish. The primer and this, I felt like I got less creasing with my concealers. It is a little drying though, so definitely prep your skin with a good hydrating under eye cream if you have dryness under the eyes, which I know I do, and that's why a lot of the products don't sit well on me. So I definitely found that the powder and the primer did dry it out a bit, but you can easily combat that by using an eye cream or an eye oil that's a little bit more hydrating. Of this powder, it reminds me a lot of the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage powder, under eye powder, and it also reminds me of the Well People powder. You know, if you want something that's very finely milled, this is not a bad option, and neither is the Laura Mercier one. I have both. I think that's excessive. If you're only looking for one, they're both very similar, so it's just going to be personal preference on brand and price point. Highlight palette I decided to test out is the MAC Hyper Real Glow. This just launched on February 15th, and I have to say I like it. There's nothing bad about it. I personally don't think I would reach for it as much either if I wasn't doing Makeup Bag Monday. I like creamy highlights. I really love my RMS Master Mixer, and I also really love my Well People highlight and my Glossier Halo Scopes. So I just like that dewier finish, and powder highlights I just don't reach for as much anymore, at least recently. So this did like force me to use it. I'm wearing it today. It's really nice. It's nice and subtle, very, very pigmented enough and glowy enough, but not overly glowy where I'm like, oh, blend, blend, blend. So it's very easy to use, very beautiful colors. They did come out with two palettes. This one I feel like is more of like a rose gold palette, and then there's this one which is more of a warm golden palette. This one is beautiful too. I just personally reached for this one because I think it complements my skin tones a little bit better. I also use it on the inner corner of my eyes. These make really beautiful eyeshadows as well, so if you're drawn to them, the quality is great. They're not overly pigmented, like I mentioned. They're very easy to work with in terms of powder highlights. So nothing bad to say about them, but nothing where I feel like you also have to run out and get either, because I feel like there are lots of powder highlights on the market right now. I just feel like I'm a little over the powder highlights. Nothing has really been innovated lately in the powder highlight world, but everyone seems to be coming out with more powder highlights. So they're good, and if you like them, go ahead, but there's nothing really that special about these either. The eyeshadow palette I've been using is from Christen Dominique, and this is the Latte Palette. This is her first in the Dominique Cosmetics line. I love the packaging. It is going to get dirty very fast because it's white cardboard with no real finish on it, so that's one of those things that you're just going to have to be okay with, but I do love how it's white with the rose gold. I think it's very chic and very well done in the design aspect. I love how large the pans are. I think she's very generous in the amount of product you're getting. The quality is pretty consistent throughout the mattes. They're very pigmented, slightly powdery, a little bit patchy, but not at the same time. So you'll see as I swatch it with my brushes, it goes on beautifully and it looks really, really pretty. And you can see when I apply it on my eyes, it works really beautifully as well. There is a little bit of a patchiness happening, but it's just requiring you to blend a little bit more. And in comparison to a lot of other shadows with the color range, it is a little bit powdery, but not quite as powdery as some others. So I do like how well it's pressed. I think the shimmers are my favorite by far in this palette. I love the warm neutrals. I mean, warm neutrals are so wearable. They're so easy to use. I do love the two pops of color, which is this plummy shade and then this teal shade. Now, this teal shade is really hard to do. It's very, very hard to do right. And you can see that the quality when I swatch it with a brush is pretty darn decent for this color. And then the purple plummy shade is also very, very well done. These two are some of the hardest colors to do in a matte formula for it to be even, smooth, and pigmented and not overly powdery. And I think she did a really good job in that sense. Now, if this wasn't Kristin's palette, would I purchase it at the store? Yes and no. If I'm being my impulsive shopper self, yes, because I love the warm neutrals and I love the shimmers and I love the options that I can do with the 2 pops of color. However, if I'm trying to be more frugal and I'm just like trying to focus on what I already own in my makeup collection and what I constantly wear on a daily basis, and I wasn't looking at the fact that this was Kristin's palette, then I probably would pass. And that's not because of quality, it's not because of anything other than I have a lot of these warm neutrals, maybe not all in the same palette, but I could definitely figure it out in my collection. And I have a very wide collection. And I know a lot of you guys have a lot of eyeshadow palettes at home as well. Do I recommend this palette? If you love Kristin and you want to support a YouTuber or you want to support an independent cosmetic line that is trying to do something new, then sure, I think you're going to love the eyeshadow palettes, and there's a ton of things you can do with this palette, and the quality, the consistency, the packaging, everything's great about it. But if you were looking for a new warm neutral palette and you already have a bunch, I would say you don't need to spend the money on it. And I'm just being very, very honest and frugal because I know a lot of you guys get overwhelmed with all the new product launches, all the new eyeshadow palettes. I know I personally last year struggled a lot with it. I am very fortunate. A lot of things are sent to me. This was given to me at the event, and I understand the stress and I understand that feeling of trying to keep up with the Joneses and keeping up with the beauty community. And I feel like the beauty community in terms of branding and in terms of influencers, I hate that word, have gone a little insane. Beauty lines and beauty brands are always going to launch new products because that is their job, that is their way of creating money and creating new things that make you want to buy more stuff. That's their job. That's their entire business model, is creating products. They'll have a few hero products and then they will have new launches every season in hopes that it will drive sales, and marketing it in a way where you have to feel like you need it. It's going to drive sales. That is the business side of things. As YouTubers in the beauty community, we started out doing that, like keeping up with all the new launches because we wanted to review things, and I want to review things and see if it's worth it. And I spent a lot of money when I started my channel, tons of money. I still spend tons of money because I want to try things, I want to buy things, and luckily I am sent a lot of things to try and let you guys know whether or not you need to buy it or not. So this year I really wanted to just focus on, I'll review the products, I'll tell you my honest opinion, and this is a great palette, but do I feel like you need to run out and spend your money on it? And that's really up to you. I don't ever want you guys to feel pressured to buy anything because I liked something for that week or I liked something for that month, because to be completely honest, you probably could make this palette at home with what you already have. And if you don't, then yes, that's when you should probably go buy this. I just want you guys to like watch my videos and take everything with a grain of salt and really think about your own personal needs and finances and whether or not you need to run out and buy products. That probably goes against everything I'm supposed to be saying to you guys, but I really have been listening to your comments and your messages and your emails about how you feel overwhelmed and how you feel like almost bad about yourself because you can't afford to buy these products we talk about. And that's never the intention of these videos. I create videos to create a positive, happy thing that you can watch, hopefully learn something from, but also just to unwind and de-stress and feel better and take your mind off of life. So that's why I watch YouTube videos, is to just unwind, de-stress. And yes, sometimes I want to learn about stuff, and I do usually learn about things. But I started feeling that pressure way before I started YouTube, and I started YouTube and then I felt that pressure even more so. And I know that you guys have been feeling it too. So that's just like a little side conversation that I want you guys to think about. I'm bringing back Makeup Bag Mondays because you guys requested them, and hopefully you'll get really good reviews out of these videos, but I also don't want you guys to feel like every week you have to buy everything I liked or talk about. If you wanted to support Kristin and you like these eyeshadow palettes and it's within your budget, then definitely, I don't think you'll be disappointed in this whatsoever. But if you feel bad because you can't have this palette because it's not in your budget right now, don't stress out. I think you can probably create this with what you already own. It might be a little bit inconvenient because you might have to pull from a bunch of different palettes, but yeah. Otherwise, I like the palette. It's gorgeous. It's pretty. I've been reaching for it quite a bit because I like it. I'm wearing it today. I think it's a really pretty neutral warm palette with a couple options to pop the looks. First product is the new Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat. I'm really glad that they came out with this version because I think if you can't afford the larger version, this might be a good option for you. And I love how little it is. Anything little is great. And I definitely think this was missing from their Naked Basics palette. So they had Naked Basics 1 and 2, and both were more on the cooler tone. And I'm so happy that this came out because they definitely needed a warmer toned mini palette. You guys know I've been loving Jouer blushes. So I'm just going to pull these out because I want to wear them. And this is the first blush duo in Kiss Me. So this one is the one I'm wearing today on my cheeks. I really love this. I didn't think I was going to like this as much as I do. And then the one that I am obsessed with is Adore Me. And I am giving away the entire set. So this one, and another one, which is more fuchsia mauve. I'm giving away the entire Jouer blush duo set. Like, so one winner will win all three plus a ton of other products in my New and Beauty for February. So make sure you check out the New and Beauty for February because there's a giant giveaway. I'm going to be testing out some bronzers from the Balm Cosmetics. I have these are so funny. I love their packaging, but I've been using the lightest one currently. I'm not wearing any today. So I think this is my shade, and this is going to be called Oscar, a more medium toned called Tony. So this is like more of a warmy medium shade. They have a third shade, which is called Graham E. I'm going to pull out my favorite highlight. This was a favorite of mine. I think I mentioned it in last month's favorite, but I've been loving it. The Hourglass Vanish Flash Champagne Flash. So it's a cream highlight, but what I love about it is it's not like overly creamy. It's just so, so beautiful. I absolutely love this thing. So I'm just pulling it out because I want to wear it for the next week, guys. I'm not going out too much, but I'm filming a lot, so you'll probably see me use a lot of these products in a few videos. If you want to see swatches, demos, and my final thoughts after using these products for a full week, definitely check back next week for Makeup Bag Monday, week number 56. As always, I hope my videos help motivate and inspire you to look and feel your best. That's what this channel is about. It's all about just keeping things light, fun, positive. Hopefully I give you some cool information and some really in-depth reviews to help you decide where to spend your money. Anyways, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you want a chance for a shout out, check out that description box. And I will see you guys back here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. Also, bonus announcement, I am going to be relaunching my second channel called More Serein. I know you guys loved seeing my vlogs and lifestyle videos, and I was trying to do it all here, but I feel like it's going to get cluttered. So mainly beauty and beauty related lifestyle videos will be here, but I'm going to do more stuff on More Serein, and I'm going to put my vlogs over there as well. Unless it's more beauty related, then I'll put it over here. I'm still trying to figure out how to organize all of that, but if you don't know, I do have a second channel, and there's a lot of travel vlogs in general, DIYs, around the house kind of stuff over there if you want to check that out. And until next time, I will see you guys right back here on Thursday. Bye!